control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
These are the things that I'm uncomfortable with. These are the things that are unacceptable to me. This is what I feel. I'm sure he feels that I've done things to him as well.
But every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
Sean Carter is
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
he's smarter. He's patient.
So, we all know Jay-Z, the music maestro hailing from Brooklyn, has definitely reached the zenith of the music scene. Starting from his hip-hop roots and branching out into the realms of business and entrepreneurship, he's crafted quite the empire. But amidst all the glitz and glam, there's been chatter about some shady stuff surrounding this mogul. It's like his alleged wrongdoings have become as famous as his hits. There's talk suggesting he's even shadier than some of his questionable buddies like Diddy and R. Kelly. Rumors range from violence against women to manipulating careers and making people vanish if they cross him or just rub him the wrong way. Yet somehow, Jay-Z always seems to come out smelling like roses, with any dirt on him getting swept under the rug faster than you can say record deal. We've seen insiders spill the tea on Jay-Z with big names like Kanye West not holding back. Kanye's never been one to sugarcoat things, especially when it comes to pointing fingers at the higher-ups. He's flat out mentioned that certain big shots have a grip on celebs, dropping names like Jay-Z and his better half, Beyonce. I can say whatever I want and not go to jail, Ye tells the camera. They can't control me. They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up. Yeah then brought up his deceased mother, claiming she was sacrificed before adding, I'm the P that never K nobody, but that means I can say whatever I want. My mama ain't here. My mama was sacrificed. You can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all. I never K nobody. I'm the P that never K nobody, but that means I can say whatever I want. He then goes on to mention Michael Jordan's father, insinuating that the basketball legend's dad was similarly sacrificed.
Control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up. I can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names. None of these people that have to listen to y'all because they're dealing with, they have legal, I never nobody.
Now, whether Kanye's claims hold any truth or if he's stirring the pot remains uncertain. This adds another layer to the complexities of the music industry, and as more stories emerge, it becomes increasingly disturbing. And then there's that whole thing about people around Jay-Z mysteriously going AWOL. Kanye hinted at it too, mentioning how some stars just vanish into thin air for no apparent reason.
You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that.
Take the rapper Coolio, for example. So, last year on a random Wednesday, Coolio passed away at a friend's place in LA. He went to the bathroom, and when his friend checked in, he found Coolio out cold on the floor. Paramedics confirmed he didn't make it. Now, for months, the details on Coolio's death were a mystery. People suspected a heart thing, given his health battles. But some folks, including Coolio's crew and family, knew he had some health issues. But others started pointing fingers at Jay-Z. Why? Coolio did interviews hinting he might spill some industry tea, exposing shady folks. People thought Jay had to silence him before he spilled the beans. Later, authorities said Coolio had undiagnosed heart problems, leading to his passing. But that didn't stop the whispers about Jay-Z being involved. Jaguar Wright also gives another example. She throws it back to the early days, reminiscing about a street battle in New York where Jay-Z first caught her ears. But he wasn't there as the Jay-Z we know. He was rolling with Big L, the guy who put him on the map. Then, tragically, Big L kicks the bucket and suddenly Jay-Z rises.
Those
Peace.
of you,
Rest in peace, Big L.
rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest. One of the
sensei.
dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z.
And now, with all the dirt surfacing about Diddy, folks are speculating whether Jay's next on the chopping block. Storm Monroe, an inside source who seems to have a finger on the pulse of this whole drama, recently dropped a video discussing how Jay might be facing a similar barrage of lawsuits once the dust settles on the Diddy situation. According to Storm, there are some shady figures pulling the strings behind the scenes, orchestrating Diddy's downfall and potentially dragging Jay-Z into the fray. He's hinting at some shady stuff Jay allegedly got into over the years that the public isn't going going to be too thrilled about. He also talked about Jay-Z's past collaborations with R. Kelly and how good PR and a tight grip on the industry can work wonders in keeping skeletons firmly locked in the closet.
I guess you could say the public humiliation. Basically, after the major documentaries come out, right? After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
Unlike many of his peers in the music scene, on the other hand, R. Kelly had already established himself as a mainstream R&B artist in the early 1900s, and Diddy was working at one of the most important record labels.
Now, while we can't say for sure how much of the recent drama surrounding Jay-Z is legit, or when his turn in the spotlight might come, folks are digging up some old skeletons from his closet that could spell trouble. And a big part of it circles back to his past connections with the likes of Diddy and his old friend R. Kelly. Back in the day, Jay wasn't exactly an overnight success story like some of his buddies in the music business. Meanwhile, R. Kelly was already a big name in the R&B scene, and Diddy was making waves in the record label world. Eventually, their paths crossed, and Jay ended up collaborating with both of them on various projects. Now, Jay and R. Kelly, they were tight both inside and outside the studio. They hit up the same parties, shopped at the same spots, and even shared a few romantic interests. But here's where things get sticky. Since R. Kelly's been called out for being a creep, folks are starting to wonder if Jay might have been in on it too. There's talk floating around that Jay wasn't just turning a blind eye to R. Kelly's antics. Some people are speculating he was right there in the mix, maybe even encouraging and covering up for him. Take Aaliyah, for example. R. Kelly supposedly married her when she was just 15. Yeah, that's a major no-no because legally she couldn't sign any documents for herself. Needed a parent or guardian for that. But R. Kelly managed to pull some strings and got paperwork that said Aaliyah was 18 and cool to consent to marriage. Fast forward, the truth came out, and turns out R. Kelly, well into his 20s at the time, had forged documents to marry a child. The marriage got annulled, but Hollywood's got some seriously messed up dealings, doesn't it? Here's the crazy part. Somehow, the dude managed to avoid prison. I know it sounds like 1,000 laws got broken, right? But you know how it goes in Hollywood. If you've got enough money and influence, you can make things disappear and get away with all sorts of stuff. Now imagine if this whole mess went down in 2024. R. Kelly would probably get hit with the cancel train, massive social media uproar, investigations for forging documents and marrying a child, and a swift exit from the industry. But it was the 90s, a different time. Here's the thing. Jay-Z didn't cancel R. Kelly, or even keep his distance. Nope, they went on to drop a joint album, and even hit the road together on tour. Jaguar Wright chimed in and thought it was all kinds of weird, and couldn't figure out how Jay-Z was cool with getting involved with R. Kelly. I mean, looking back, Jay-Z seemed totally fine with R. Kelly being with a minor, even marrying her. Makes you question his morals, right? In fact, back in 2002, Nas dropped the hint that Jay-Z was hip to what R. Kelly was up to with underage girls, including Aaliyah. He spilled the beans to Wendy Williams on the radio when a tape of R. Kelly with a younger girl surfaced. He said, "I could have showed the R. Kelly video that everybody's talking about and made fun of it and show pictures of Jay hanging out. You can't tell me Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come into the studio and sit on R. Kelly's lap. You're gonna tell me he didn't see no 14-year-old girl come into the vicinity."
Jay didn't see a 14-year-old girl come in the studio and R. Kelly's lap. No. You can't tell me, you want to tell me that they're working on that album that he ain't never seen a 14-year-old girl come in the vicinity?
When R. Kelly got hit with those terrible charges, Jay-Z tried to act like they were never buddies. There were even rumors that Jay-Z had a major crush on Aaliyah, and everyone in the industry, including her man Dame Dash, knew about it. Dame even spilled the beans to Page Six, saying he tried his hardest. He said, "I did not mean to fall in love with Aaliyah, she was just that cool. But, you know, we were both going hard, everybody was trying to get to Aaliyah. It was not just Jay." According to Dash, he didn't even know Jay-Z had feelings for Aaliyah before he started dating her. He added, "I did not know Jay was trying to holler at her, but then it just happened like that. He was trying, I was trying, everybody was trying, he was going hard. Now two buddies battling it out for the same girl, total disaster waiting to happen. Jealousy kicked in fast, especially since Aaliyah was juggling dates with both of them. But here's the twist, Aaliyah started favoring Dame, and Jay-Z wasn't feeling it. Now, we all know Jay-Z doesn't handle losses well. It all went south when Aaliyah and Dame took things up a notch, and Jay-Z got the scoop at a 4th of July bash they all hit up. Jaguar Wright spilled the tea, backing up Dame's story. Allegedly, Jay-Z got his revenge game strong by wrecking Dame's business and selling him out, all because Dame got the girl.
I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. But to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he girl that didn't want you.
Anyway, Jay-Z shifted his focus from Aaliyah to Beyonce, aiming to be part of Hollywood's ultimate power couple. Problem was, for that dream to happen, he needed Beyonce to be the top lady in Hollywood. Now, don't get me wrong, Beyonce was destined for greatness with or without Jay-Z. But rewind to when they first crossed paths. Beyonce had just stepped out of Destiny's Child and was hustling to make her mark. Meanwhile, Aaliyah was already carving out her own lane, ready to conquer the world. But then tragedy struck, and Aaliyah left a void at the top. According to Jaguar Wright, that wasn't just a coincidence. It paved the way for Beyonce to step into the spotlight. But here's the interesting thing. There's some talk that Aaliyah's passing might not have been a freak accident, but a well-orchestrated plan. Let's do a quick recap on that. So, Aaliyah's passing wasn't some random accident. Right after the crash, rumors claimed that the small plane was overloaded by a few hundred pounds. Plus, the weight wasn't spread out evenly, making it a hot mess to control once it took off. It turns out the pilot wasn't on the up and up either. Dude reportedly faked his license and was all messed up on alcohol and who knows what else. When the accident went down, Aaliyah wasn't even keen on hopping on that plane. She straight up voiced her worries about getting on the plane. There was even a witness. Kathy Lindoli spilled the deets in her book, Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah. So there's this 13-year-old Kingsley Russell, whose fam runs a taxi hustle in the Abaco Islands. Back on August 25th, 2001, he's rolling with Aaliyah as her squad heads to the airport for her flight back to the US. And get this, when Aaliyah peeped the plane, she was like, nope, turned around and headed back to the cab, as told by Kingsley. So, after Aaliyah backed out and headed to the cab, someone from her crew came back to check on her. Kingsley spilled the tea, saying Aaliyah kept voicing her worries about the plane, and apparently they handed her a sleeping pill, and she knocked out. Even with her earlier concerns, they still carried her from the taxi onto the plane while she was passed out. Now, fans always say Jay-Z and R. Kelly are in the know about what really went down with Aaliyah. And considering their tight friendship with Diddy, he might have the scoop too, maybe even cracked a laugh and carried on. When karma hit R. Kelly, Jay-Z's PR worked overtime to act like they weren't buds at all. And now it seems Jay-Z is doing the same thing to Diddy. I mean, we know how close they are. Remember when Diddy posted that only his mom and Jay-Z can call him Sean? Plus, there's still a photo of Jay-Z on Diddy's website, and Diddy's been giving Jay major props for stepping into the shoes of legends like Biggie and Tupac. Back in 2022, during a Twitter Space celebration for Biggie's 50th birthday on Tidal, Diddy couldn't stop singing Jay's praises, especially for holding down the rap scene after we lost Biggie and Pac. He said, "Bro, you filled them shoes though. You came in, and we definitely give thanks. You definitely came, and I just know how much Big really looked up to Jay." And remember when Jay-Z teamed up with the NFL and caught some heat? Diddy had his back, supporting him in public. He hopped on Instagram to say, "Hav is one of the greatest to ever do it. He has been there for more than anybody from the hip-hop culture, including me. He has always been so selfless and fights for other people. We as a people cannot be divided and conquered at this time." Seems like there's some serious bromance going on. Jay-Z even narrated a video montage for Diddy's Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards, calling him an inspiration to all those kids starting from scratch. But here's where it gets tricky. Ice Cube's out here claiming Jay-Z might throw Diddy under the bus because of all the heat he's getting from the public, when he is also doing the very same thing Diddy did. Let's take Foxy Brown as another example. Rumors are that Jay started G-wording her when she was about 14. Supposedly, they ended up getting involved when she was 15, and he was a 24-year-old dude making waves with LL Cool J's I Shot Ya remix. Foxy was doing her thing in the music world, teaming up with big names, but the one that stood out was Jay-Z. They hit us with their first major duet, Ain't No N, on the Nutty Professor soundtrack in '96. And those lyrics had everyone raising eyebrows. "Ain't no N like the one I got. No one can F you better. Sleeps around, but he gives me a lot." Like, why was a 15-year-old singing those explicit lines? But Jay-Z eventually decided to address these rumors in one of his songs, Picasso Baby, where he said, "I never stuck my C in the Fox's box, but damn if I ain't open up Pandora's box. They try to slander your man on CNN and Fox. But my Mirandas don't stand a chance for cops. Even my old fans like, old man, just stop." And turns out Foxy wasn't too thrilled about it. She'd been telling Jay to let the rumors slide, and in an interview she spilled the beans, saying she was definitely shocked when he dropped that line. According to Foxy, they had a history beyond just music, and they used to laugh off those rumors. But here's the twist. Foxy felt the need to talk about that embarrassing line when she was basically basically a kid back then. She mentioned feeling the heat from people talking about her age, and she thinks that's why Jay decided to address it. She said, "Was I shocked when Jay said the line in Picasso, baby? Yes, because we've talked about that. We have a history that supersedes music. We know how this business works. We sit back and we laugh at those rumors. We laugh at that." I think he began to feel the pressure because people began to say my age, the age thing. She was 15, 14. After a while, that gets to a person. The fact that he felt he needed to say that means something struck a chord. It's a bit weird, right? I mean, she was allegedly involved as a teenager, and now she's defending him as a grown woman. It's a bit of a head scratcher, especially considering the whole situation. And just a reminder, the whole consent thing doesn't really fly here because she was a minor at the time. Yeah, if the rumors are true, it's a pretty serious matter. And there's also Tiara Marie. Before she was on Love and Hip Hop, she was in the mix at Def Jam with Jay-Z. He was all about her, calling her the princess of the label and the first lady of the rock. Fast forward to the night of her prom, he does a 180 and drops her from the label with zero explanation. Jay-Z told Tiara Marie she was getting the boot from Def Jam because her debut album didn't do well, right? But the numbers don't add up. Her album sold 69,000 copies, hit number 5 on the Billboard 200, and snagged the second spot on the R&B and hip-hop albums chart. That's not bad for a debut, but Jay-Z's playing it off like it's a major flop, giving her the boot with no clear explanation. Now here's the twist. Rihanna drops her debut a couple of weeks later, also selling 69,000 copies, but her album charts lower at number 10. Now, by the logic Jay-Z used with Tiara, Rihanna should have been in the same boat, right? But no, Rihanna's still standing. Why? Well, according to the rumors, the not-so-secret sauce is that Jay-Z was supposedly getting cozy with Tiara at the time, even though she was still in high school. Also, a blind item spills the beans that L.A. Reid allegedly got in the mix first, hooked up with Tiara, then supposedly passed her to Ray J, who, in turn, passed her along to Jay. Yeah, it's all kinds of messed up, especially considering she was a minor at the time. Hold on, there's more. Ray J and Tiara went public in 2006, right after Jay-Z dropped her. She was 18 and he was 25, but rumors were floating around that their thing started way before she hit legal age. Now here's where Jay-Z's story starts to crumble. If her first album was such a train wreck that he was ready to boot her, why on earth was she working on a second album? Well, according to the blind item, the real reason Jay-Z dropped her wasn't about album stats. It was because Ray J wanted Tiara all to himself and got jealous that Jay-Z was in the mix. Rumor also has it, Beyonce caught wind of the affair and put her foot down, demanding Jay-Z cut ties with Tiara completely. Now, Jay-Z's solution wasn't just dropping Tiara from Def Jam. He went all out and blacklisted her from the industry, making sure nobody would give her a shot. No wonder Tiara's career tanked after leaving Def Jam. It's a head-scratcher because she had the talent, no doubt. Her debut album even hit the top 5 on the Billboard Hot 200. But according to L.A. Reid, Beyonce played a big role in the label shifting attention to Rihanna and giving Tiara the boot. Reid said, "We had an in-house company showcase and Beyonce happened to be there with Jay-Z, Tiara Marie, Rihanna. A 4-girl group called Black Butterfly and Neo performed. At the label, we thought Tiara Marie would be a big star. We spent more time on her, did more work on her, paid more attention to her. A bell went off for me, however, when after the showcase, Beyonce came up to me and said, 'That Rihanna girl, she's a
sweet girl.' And the truth is I was paying a little more attention to her than I was to Rihanna. After the showcase, you know, Beyonce just gave me one of those looks and he said, 'That Rihanna girl, she's a and she looked away."
Now, we're not about to throw shade at Queen Bee, but let's dive into this. Beyonce was already the bigwig in Hollywood at the time, so her words held major sway. She had to know dropping a comment like that would steer L.A. Reid's ship. Props to her, though. She played the game so smoothly that L.A. Reid didn't even clock he was being played. We all thought she was just giving her man Jay-Z's artist Rihanna a boost because Jay-Z personally signed her to Def Jam. Turns out the real deal was she was trying to clear the field for her man by taking out the competition. Allegedly, of course. And speaking of Queen Bee, let's dive into those rumors about Jay-Z supposedly grooming and pulling the strings in their marriage. The streets are buzzing, saying they hooked up when she was 18 and he was 30. But Jay-Z's telling a different story, claiming they didn't start dating until she hit 20 and he was 32. Still, it's a head-scratcher since Beyonce herself spilled the tea, saying they met when she was 18. In her words, "I was 18 when we first met. 19 when we first started dating. There was no rush. No one expected me to run off and get married." Fair enough, she wasn't underage, but there's still a 12-year gap there, and she was a teenager. Then there's also the fact that Jay-Z was Beyonce's first real relationship. She's been upfront about how her teenage years were all about the hustle. hustle. She said, "My teenage years were about the grind. My energy went into Destiny's Child and the dream of getting us a record deal and becoming musicians. If something wasn't helping me reach my goal, I decided to invest no time in it. It didn't feel like I had time to kiki or hang out. I sacrificed a lot of things and ran from any possible distraction." So not only was Jay-Z 12 years older, but Beyonce was also pretty green when it came to relationships. Hold up, there's more to this Jay-Z and Beyonce saga. According to Beyonce's former bodyguard, Jay-Z allegedly goes full-on paranoid, fearing Beyonce might leave him. How? Well, the word on the street is he allegedly keeps her in check by allegedly giving her.
Yeah, Beyonce's on. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Jaguar also spilled some tea on that, calling Jay-Z a monster obsessed with controlling Beyonce. She even drew parallels to Britney Spears' situation, claiming Beyonce is like a prisoner in her own marriage.
Beyonce.
And the more he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in the character.
No, girl. Not my beautiful Beyonce.
Y'all talking about free Britney. Y'all need to be doing a campaign that say free Beyonce.
And Jaguar wasn't finished airing out Jay-Z's laundry. She recently went on record saying he's worse than Diddy. And you know the kind of wild allegations that circulate around Diddy. So if Jaguar's saying Jay-Z takes the cake, you've got to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. She claims Jay-Z's just than Diddy, keeping his business tighter and avoiding the spotlight. Also about how Jay-Z is quietly stepping back from being buddies with Diddy and leaving him to face the heat in the public eye, all while doing his own thing on the low.
Sean Carter is
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient.
Let us know what you think about all this in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next video.